So for the last couple of weeks, I've been in this funky mood, almost like I've lost my mojo. I just can't get motivated to do anything. And in retirement, it's kind of easy to do. I just can't get going. Have you ever been in this type of mood? And if you have, let me know about it in the comments. But that's the topic of today's video, when you're in the funky zone. In your work life, you don't have a choice. You got to get up in the morning. You got to go to work. You got to support your family. And at work, you have deadlines, you have responsibilities, you have tasks that you got to get completed. And there's somebody watching over you to make sure that you get those done. And if you're not getting it done or you're getting it done late, they're going to let you know. Yeah, they'll let you know about it. But in retirement, nobody's holding you accountable. Nobody's watching over you. You set your own schedule, your own routine. If you want, you can sit in front of your TV all day long. Nobody's going to judge you. Now, before I go any further, let me say that I'm not a healthcare professional. I'm not a doctor, psychologist. Everything I talk about here is kind of what I did or what I'm doing to try to get me out of this funk zone, this funky feeling that I'm currently in. Uh, so if you feel like you might have depression, right, seek that professional care. Right? Don't take my advice as medical advice. So my funky virus, and I guess that's what I'll call it, a virus. It started almost 2 weeks ago. Not sure what led up to it, but sure enough, it hit me, and I just began to be unmotivated. But you would have thought that I would have been ecstatic over the Thanksgiving holidays because both of my kids, they were home for Thanksgiving. Not only them, but my 3-year old, soon to be 3-year old granddaughter, she was here. She was here for almost a whole week. And that was great, right? That was awesome. That was a lot of fun. Always enjoy being with my kids, especially my granddaughter. But I don't know what this virus is all about. But rest assured, it has nothing to do with the election. All right. I'm not having anxiety crisis from the election. Matter of fact, I didn't even vote in the election. Both me and my wife, we put in for our absentee ballot, and my wife's made it here, but for some reason mine, it got lost in the mail. They couldn't find it. You know what? And I just gave up. I'm just so over politics at this point. In my retirement life, I have nothing to complain about. Life is really good. God has blessed me. So why do I feel so hum hum? And more importantly, how do I get back to my normal self again? So if you have ever felt this way and you have the answer to how to get back to your normal self, let me know in the comments. But obviously, I didn't know. And so one of the places that I go to look for answers when I need answers for a problem that I'm having, you guessed it, it's YouTube. And so that's where I began my search. In the self-care space, I like listening to Sincerely Heather Lynn, as she provides excellent advice on self-care and the mindfulness piece of this. And then there's Chasing Life at 50. Tom, he provides excellent motivational videos uh, that will get you off of the couch, out of your lazy boy chair, get you outside, even if it is snowing, and on a outdoor adventure. These are my two channels that I go to anytime I have a need for a pick me up. Do you have channels that you watch when you need a pick me up? If so, let me know in the comments and we'll see about giving them a shout out. Might help them out. Or maybe it's because of the weather. It has turned cold here in North Fort Worth. Uh, Probably not as cold as those northern states. Yeah, I seen some of them football games. Man, they're getting a lot of snow up north. But here in North Fort Worth, Texas, we're getting down into the low 30s. Uh, so although we're cold, we don't have snow. We're not freezing, but the weather sometimes does have a piece of it. And then there's the holidays upon us, right? We just went through Thanksgiving. Christmas is around the corner, and then there's New Year's, and then we're in 2025. And, one of the things that most people do, especially as retirees, as we begin the holiday season, is you're always reminiscing. You're pulling out old pictures, and/or you're looking at old videos of Christmases, New Year's gone by. Past Christmases, and reminiscing about the time when your kids were a lot younger and you were a lot younger. Maybe that has a piece of it. I'm not sure, but have you ever been trapped in this funky town? If so, let me know about it. But starting yesterday, starting Monday, um, I have to start working to get out of this. So here are my remedies, the things that I'm doing to try to get out of this funk and get motivated and get back to where I want to be. So let's talk about it. So my remedies to get me out of this funky feeling began this week by getting a fresh haircut. Right? It's nothing like getting a good haircut, cut off all that old stuff, right? And you're looking fresh and clean. And then it's clawing your way back to a normal routine. You see, during the last 2 weeks, my routine kind of changed. I went out the window. Kids were coming home, grandkids, wanted me to chase her around. And there was a lot of things that I couldn't do that I wanted to do. Uh, but you know what? They were the priority for the Thanksgiving holidays. And so now that the holidays are gone, right, it's time for me to get back to that routine, because I know the routine, that's that's the powerful anchor, right, that keeps my well-being in check. It's much like in your work life, when that alarm clock hits and it rings, it's time to get up and get going, right? You got to take your shower, eat your breakfast, drive, and go to work. uh, in retirement life, when my alarm clock hits 7 o'clock, I know it's time for me to get up and get going, because all those things that I have planned out for that day, for that week, well, they need to be accomplished. So it's that routine that kind of anchors me, right? That gets me up in the morning, gets me going, and keeps me steady all day long. So one of my takeaways from watching Sincerely Heather Lynn's channel is, I need to practice mindfulness and meditation a whole lot more. You see, mindfulness and meditation, that reduces my stress and anxiety. It's my way of decluttering my mind. Nothing I like doing more than going outside to the backyard, sitting in a chair, facing the sun, and trying to clear my mind and not think of anything, and just note the warmth of the sun on my face. And I try to do that for at least 30 minutes. If I can do that for 30 minutes, then when I'm done, I feel that much more refreshed. I also end with, thinking about all the things that I'm thankful for, so that I don't take things for granted. And there's a lot in our lives that we should be thankful for. And just realizing that, that's a good thing. And the next remedy to get me out of Funky Town is to, stay active. So physical activity can help reduce my anxiety and improve my mood. I know that. So even a daily short walk, that can do it. Now, I did have a lot of physical activity chasing a 3-year-old around the last 2 weeks. Uh, but sometimes, that's not enough. That was fun, but not enough. So I can tell that my body is aching to get back to that normal routine that I'm usually involved in. And so that begins this week. Eating a balanced diet, or should I say, not eating a balanced diet. Now, that could impact your mental well being. It's that time of the year again where there's nothing but temptations all around you, right? All these sweet, sugary foods. They taste so good. Well, we know that they add pounds, right, to you. That, you know, later on in the year, you're going to have to make a resolution to try to work it all off. Maybe that's why I've been feeling so funky. Setting goals and priorities. So it's that time of the year again where, you got to set next year's budget. You did that in your work life, right? Where there was your section, your department, or your company. You took a look at what you did last year, and you came up with a new budget for the coming year. Well, we do that in retirement as well, right? We look at how well we stuck to our budget last year, and we create a new budget for the coming year. Do you live by a budget? If so, let me know in the comments. Let me know how well you did. But I think this year, 2025, I'm going to go ahead and share my budget just so that I can be as transparent as much as I can. Let people know that no, I'm not living large, but I am living a good life because I'm retired. And when it comes to goals, I always say I got one goal. And my one goal is to live another year. And how am I going to do that? Well, I'm not going to run out of money. I just created a budget. Uh, but my biggest concern is always health, right? It's always health. And so, how am I going to stay healthy in this next year? Well, first off, I got to continue to go to my doctor's appointments, right? I got to make all those physicals, do all those blood work, so that if there is something wrong, they could catch it as soon as possible. And then there's keeping up with my daily and my weekly routines, right? The physical fitness routines. You got to stay healthy. You can't do that if you sit there and watch TV all day. You got to get up. You got to go for a walk. If anything, a walk. And that's really all I do. I go for a walk. I walk between 2 and 5 miles, just depending. And then I do light lifting weights. I say weights, but they're not weights. They're 5 pound dumbbells, right? And I do exercises with that, and that keeps me limber, keeps me strong. So if I have to pick a box up or pick my 3-year-old granddaughter up, it's not going to crack my back, and that's important. Then I got to take my medicine, right? Yeah, I've got some medicine. Most of us that are retired are on some type of medicine. I got to make sure that I constantly take the medicine. And then every so often, you got to go see your doctor so they can do the blood work and check to make sure the medicine is doing what it was supposed to be doing and is not doing something other than that. And along with our bodies, right, you got to keep challenging your mind. And how do you do that? Well, uh, one of the ways I do that is running this YouTube channel, right? That takes a lot of mental uh, chores, a mental ability to kind of function at that level where you're running a YouTube channel. And, I dabble in the market, right? I trade options. And so that keeps me mentally challenged. So I know if I'm lacking in those areas, that I know that I need to step it up. I need to provide me with a new challenge. Uh, you got to keep learning, right? Got to keep learning something new. Teach the old dog a new trick, kind of thing, right? Got to keep the mind and the body active. Otherwise, as I always say, it'll turn to mush, right? And we don't want a mush body and a mush brain. So you want to constantly stay engaged and active, along with setting goals and priorities. Right? When we talk about priorities, so what's the priority in your life? Well, priorities kind of helps you allocate your time uh, from work to rest to leisure. What's more important. That kind of balances out, and that kind of helps your mental health. Because along with your weekly routines, you got to have that leisure time, right? That leisure time to kind of relax and enjoy life because you're retired, right? And retired in life, to me, is the best life. So those are my remedies to get me out of this funk town, right? This funky feeling that I'm getting, that I've had for the last 2 weeks. And I think it'll work. I think within 2 weeks, I'll be back to normal again, hopefully. But then again, Christmas is right around the corner. But I got to do something to make sure that I don't fall right back. Uh, so let me know in the comments if you have been in the same situation and how you got out. If you want to watch one of my other videos, right, they're going to pop up right here. Um, Feel free to watch it. I'm going to put my playlist up there. So, if you got time, watch my playlist. I'm trying to work on my watch time hours to get to become a YouTube partner, and I need those hours. So if you got the time, watch the videos. And until the next video, this is Chandler's Retirement Live saying, lights out.